On today's episode of WatchJRGo, we are back in the shop with my $2,000 Ford Escape. The one that is weirdly super loaded while being a very low trim. It's just an SE. What is going on, guys? I'm WatchJRGo, and today, like I said, here we are with this 2017 Ford Escape with a clean title I just picked up for $2,000 on Marketplace. And I bought it for one simple reason, and that was the engine was cheap. So I looked these things up and their engine problems online, and I found out it is very, very common for the 1.5s before the 3-cylinder to have a head failure. And there's a coolant temp sensor or a cylinder head temp sensor in the back of it, and it fails because the boss there is like drilled too close to the edge of the metal and it splits there, or a head gasket failure. It's one of those two, right? So you end up with one of those two problems on these cars, and they pretty much all need engines. And it looks like Ford took care of a lot of them too. There was a recall for a new long block, and they swapped these things out, I assume by the millions, because they crank out Escapes by the millions. So I looked up the engine. Somebody said the fix, they didn't mention, you know, the nuance of it. They said the fix for these was buying the engine for the 2020 and getting rid of the 2017 to 2019 engine, the problematic one. So I got on CarPart, I found an engine that was local for $600, and I was like, let's go buy this car, right? Like, the whole purchase was predicated on a cheap engine. And then I got this thing here and found out in 2020, they moved to the 3-cylinders. The 3-cylinders never break, so the engines are dirt cheap because they don't sell a lot of them. And the engine for this is $3,000. And that's with miles, and getting a turbo with it's iffy. With the 3-cylinders, they like all came with turbos. So we had already got sync upgraded, and I was in Florida picking up the Bentley when I found out that the 2019 engine that I wanted, which is one where the 4-cylinders are sort of fixed, is $3,000. And I was gonna send Eric to pick one up, and I quickly found out we were not gonna pick one of those up. So we had sync and CarPlay working great, and we had a misfire on cylinder 2 that was absolutely nasty. And I was like, you know what, let's just make a video talking about how terribly upside down we were gonna be in this car. It's only worth $5,000. If I put 5 into it, I would be screwed, like it'd be devastating. So I decided we weren't gonna do that, and I came back home and I cleaned it out. So yesterday I broke out the vacuum and I got to cleaning on it. We took it to the car wash. Obviously it hasn't really been wiped down, but it was just absolutely nasty in here when we picked it up. And now it's all been cleaned out, right? Vacuumed the interior. It definitely still needs a wipe down there. That's from where I pressure washed some of the dirt out of this thing. I'll do that here in just a second. But then I had an idea, one that I couldn't pass up, and you guys already know what that idea is. I made a quick trip to O'Reilly's and bought a bottle of K-Seal. Now, I know people love to say that that stuff doesn't work. I have 100% undeniable proof that it works. I put it in my old LT1 Camaro when I was like 18, and I got 2 more years out of that LT1 before it needed head gaskets. Drove it all over the country. We're talking 20, 30,000 miles before it had a problem again. So I was like, look, this thing's done. We're just gonna sell it as broken. Why not put a bottle of K-Seal in it? And I should have recorded all this, but I wasn't exactly holding out hope for it. I mixed the entire bottle of K-Seal up with enough coolant to fill the coolant reservoir back up. I also washed the engine bay yesterday, and I went ahead and poured all of that coolant and K-Seal mix into the reservoir here. Now, K-Seal is absolutely guaranteed not to block oil coolers, turbo passages, or anything like that where there's water being passed through it, the radiator. So any watered air, watered oils, everything is okay with K-Seal in there. This is not the old copper stuff. And I've heard of people getting great results out of it and insane mileage out of a car once it went in. Well, I put it in there and I let this thing run for about an hour yesterday. And it's weird that it runs so well and it never overheats. So that was one of my clues that it might work. Filled this thing up, let it run, drove it to the car wash, let it run the entire time I washed it. I must have spent $10 at the hand wash. So I was probably at the car wash for 20 minutes, drove it home and parked it. And we still had the misfire, but I never saw a single bubble in the cooling system. So it wasn't dumping anything back after the first like 3 minutes of it running. When I first poured it in, I could see a few bubbles coming back into the reservoir, but shortly after that, it stopped. So today I was like, you know what? I've got one more troubleshooting in me. Why don't we swap some plugs around? Maybe it's just a dead coil. And let's see if the misfire moves to 3. So the plugs on this are really interesting. I should have recorded all this. I know you guys probably would have loved to have seen it, but it has strange coil packs with like a 45-degree kicker in it, and the plugs are literally just sitting in the valley. There's no spark plug wells or anything like that. I guess they decided to solve that problem that we've all been fighting forever when we have to change valve cover gaskets and change the spark plug well seals and all of that. You'll always end up with a leak dumping oil down on the spark plug. That actually can't happen on this engine from what I saw. I put the camera down in there and the whole thing was full of trash. I'm talking full. And if you look on my floor, all of this came out of the valley where the spark plugs sit. So I stuck the air gun in there, blasted it out, and I must have been blowing air through there for 5 minutes before we got all the trash out of this valley that is right here where the spark plugs sit. I went ahead and pulled all the coils before that, and then I stuck a camera in there to see where the plugs were at because they're at an angle. And you do need a 9/16 socket to do the spark plugs on this. I want you guys to know it takes a long time to get every socket down in there. So just to save you time, if you're working on one of these, it's a 9/16, it's deep, and it's at like a 45. Make sure you've got a stack of extensions and sockets before you get started on this job. So I pulled all the coils, and then I went ahead and pulled spark plugs 2 and 3. 2, jet black. It looked like that plug had been cooked. And 3 looked great. It looked like a nice factory spark plug. So I went ahead and swapped 2 and 3, put all the coils right back. I guess I didn't really need to pull them all. I just figured we might end up buying all the spark plugs, but then I was like, wait, we have to see if the problem moves. And then I put the whole thing back together, started it. It runs perfectly on all 4 cylinders. So I assume the coil on 2 might have been getting a little bit weak, or that plug was just struggling right there, but in a good cylinder, in a known good cylinder, it works perfectly. I swapped them all out, and I just took this thing on a 20-mile drive. Not a single light on the dash. It's unbelievable. Now we do still have a code for this headlight being out, so I think we're gonna run to O'Reilly's right now and pick up the low beam, but that's it. This thing runs great. Now, I'll still list it as needs head gasket down the road, but honestly, I'd love to just drive this thing all the way to New York and back to California right now just to prove how well that stuff works. It's honestly magic half the time. So now it's all cleaned up, drives great. I'm gonna start it for you guys right now so you can see the engine running. I'll show you everything just so you can believe me. And then we also need to take the wipers off because whoever put them on, I don't know what they did wrong, but I think this one, you can see somebody was smart enough to mark the wipers. Actually, what if I just do this? Is that right? I don't know. The wipers don't move at all. They start and then bail out. So now that we've reset that, let's see what happens. Let's jump in there and just try to run them because somebody messed up the wiper clocking when they took the cowl off. And it might even have the wrong arm on the wrong side because it does look like it looks like this one needs to be over there to sit up at the line where the wipers used to sit, but let's see if they move now. I've tried many times and they will not move up front. Nope. You see they start up and bail. I'm not really sure how you clock them that wrong, but whatever's going on there, they're very broken. And these should be the wipers where the motors are completely independent. They don't have a linkage or anything like that. So you can get in here and move these. Yeah. As much as you want, you can move these. This is absolutely wrong. Absolutely upside down or something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the bolts off the wipers, yank them, and then we'll run the motor, let it go home, and then put the wipers back. That's gotta be what's messed up. Should just be one bolt. Yeah, there we go, right under the cover. Even better on the wiper situation, I reached in here and they're not tight, they're just sitting there. Let's see, this one kind of looks like it got tightened down. Is it? Okay, it is. It's a 15. Oh, look at that. That one's not tight either. Hand tight wipers. Pretty wild. Okay. Oh, look at that. They have a key in there. Oh, no. Oh, no. They stripped them out. I wonder if that's why they're failing. If they destroyed the wipers. This one's got a bunch of metal in it. Oh yeah, they're toast. These are supposed to be splined inside. There's nothing left on the wiper arms. Well, I'll put them on there and tighten them down and we'll see if we can win enough that they work, but probably needs wiper arms. I like that these splines must be hardened because they're perfect on the motors. but the aluminum here said nope. The wipers were on backwards and of course loose. So now they're sitting on their marks where they belong, right there. They put paint marks on the windshield, which I love. You know, mentioned that before. Do we have wipers? Oh, look at that. They even park right. All right. Problem solved. You won't get stuck in the rain unexpectedly with no way to clean your windshield. I took off from the car wash yesterday and it's not like it has a dryer. So I started driving and then the water starts beating up on the windshield. I couldn't see anything and I turned on the wipers, nothing happens. So we solved that problem. Let's just drive this thing to O'Reilly's, pick up a headlight and go from there. Look at this thing run now. When we picked it up, the whole engine just shaking like that, moving back and forth, ruining the engine mounts. But nope, it runs like a sewing machine. This thing rocks. Off to O'Reilly's we go. We got a low beam over here. We don't have a low beam over here. Check it out, guys. This thing runs like a top. We've got cruise control. I mean, you would expect it. It's like a brand new car, but it drives so nice. Even at 183,000 miles, it's solid, no suspension clunks. I don't know if it's all been fixed or this thing's just lightweight and doesn't blow through its suspension components. All I know is we're one headlight away from everything in here working perfectly, so that's pretty crazy. All right, guys, we are here at O'Reilly's to pick up that headlight bulb, and that is the last thing this needs. It even had a fresh oil change when we picked it up. If you remember, that oil looked brand new. What up?
How we doing? There we go.
What's going on, Braden?
Oh, you know, it's getting ready for this winter storm this weekend. It's been busy.
The world's supposed to end, right?
Yeah, that's what they're saying anyway.
So it's this guy right here. I'll open it up. The high ones don't go out often. That's right, that's right. The hard ones never fail.
Right.
If you didn't know, O'Reilly's will change your headlights, wiper blades, all that fun stuff. So I was like, Braden, you feel like changing this?
Absolutely.
Mostly
that's what we do.
We haven't had a Wendy's discussion in a while. We need to go.
They hadn't had any good meal deals lately.
You know what they do have though is that new Frosty with all the stuff in it, like chocolate fudge, all kinds of.
Really? I could get with the Frosty.
It's good. And our last Wendy's discussion was, of course, the SpongeBob.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the. I mean, shoot, anymore though. The Wendy's hasn't had the good stuff. Didn't Burger King have a SpongeBob one too? That was like. They made it like bright yellow or something crazy.
Hop in this whip and let's go find out.
If this place wasn't going to burn down here amid the winter storm crisis,
yeah.
You know.
Everybody's like, we need to go to O'Reilly's and get bread. That's what they're doing.
Exactly. Stocking up. I can't imagine like the water and the eggs and stuff.
Man.
Snowmageddon, you know, we're getting 6 inches.
I think I have 7 days worth of eggs, so we're good. I don't have to go into this. I also didn't have to make you do this.
It's right there. I can feel it.
So
now we're home free.
I bought this thing for $2,000, right?
$2,000.
Found out it needs an engine.
Of course.
Ran over here, grabbed that bottle of K-Seal I bought from you yesterday.
Yeah.
Filled it up. Runs like a champ, dude. It's,
wow.
It's amazing.
Heck yeah, what was wrong with it?
It's
an engine.
These engines all have a failure in the cylinder head.
Yeah.
So, you know, they just start dumping coolant out of cylinder 2. And the K-Seal sealed it up and it runs great. No more flashing check engine light, no check engine light at all.
Wow.
So.
Heck yeah, well apparently K-Seal's a cure-all.
For sure, for head gaskets. Yeah. So we've got, what? $8 in this light bulb, $27 in the K-Seal fix.
Yep. And probably going to be a $6,000 car.
I don't think so.
No?
Yeah, it's worth like less than 5.
Oh,
fixed.
man. Yeah. I mean, you got a 2 with a grenaded motor on it.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, come on now.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is. We're home free now.
I was like, we were only doing this to say that you would help people out.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not actually going to make you do it. But
no, we're done now.
Good
It's just my fat hand in this reservoir, you know.
It's nice and hot now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not bad, though.
I'm also surprised it had a Sylvania in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
HL
Yeah.
Plus? What do you think HL Plus is? Maybe the...
HL Plus, that's the top of the line, I think.
It would be, right? So the top of the line ones have the shortest lifetime.
Yep, because they burn the hottest.
They do.
Yep.
It's like 2,000 hours
Yep.
instead of 10,000 hours.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, shoot, we've got lifetime LEDs anymore.
Yeah.
So I mean, you come in and get the $100 set of LEDs,
Done and done.
and you don't need to buy headlights for the rest of your life.
That's the plan.
But you are good to go, JR.
Thanks, Braden.
Absolutely. I
I'll see you
appreciate it
later.
always. You take care, okay?
You too. Well, there you have it, guys. $36 later, I think. $27 for the K-seal and a couple dollars for the light bulb. And this thing is fixed. I absolutely love it. Eric and I have put over 100 miles on it today. We just drove it on parts runs, dinner. He took it to guitar lessons, you know. We took it to Johnny's to do the Raptor shocks. We've been driving this thing nonstop and it runs like a champ all over the city. So I am very excited about that. The video I was gonna make was, I'm an idiot, we're getting rid of this pile of junk. But instead, it's amazing and we saved it for nothing. So before you go spending $3,000 on this engine, try to fill it with K-seal or a head gasket fix. Probably K-seal. I've heard it's like the premier one, but I've also used the other ones. Like in my LT1 Camaro, I used the like copper pour and powder, and that also works great. So anyway, there you have it. That is a $2,036 Ford Escape with a clean title. And it's so nice to drive. I get it. I mean, I've always understood why old people love crossovers. They have the perfect entry heights. They're so nice to drive around because you can park them wherever you want. Totally get it. And I do love this one, as you guys know, because it's absolutely loaded for what it is. Anyway, that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.WatchJRGo.com for cool shirts like the one I'm wearing under here. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I will talk to you next time. Oh man, the cops are coming to get it. Didn't last long. I should probably polish the headlights. That's like the last thing it needs here is a quick little headlight polish and a detail. It is filthy. And this is after I spent a long time at the car wash yesterday. So if this thing was clean, it'd look like $1 million. Also, I think I need to get Eric's guitar out of here. It's probably not supposed to sit in here during the winter storm we're gonna start tomorrow that's supposed to end the world. You know what else is always funny with these is like in the promo shots, somebody's always like, they've got their whole band in a crossover and somebody's wearing a guitar and you know, there's a guy like playing the drums outside of the car, so it really fits. Whole fire department's here. I wondered why I heard all the sirens. They caught your garage on fire.